I've always been aware that some things will be harder to help people with than others, and there's gonna be some stuff where it's like, oh, you can't really just hope that they're gonna turn out. But the thing is, a lot of people are trying to be their best self, regardless of other people in their lives who might tell them advice that in the end is not actually the best advice. I feel like one of my friends is down some dumb mental block pathway that's gonna lead them into some just absolutely insensitive behaviors. However, thing about that is that it's possible things could end up becoming better. So they could learn how to not be so insensitive. But that's not easy, is it? It all depends. At least it's not impossible. Thank God. I see them as I see any other person who's young, usual, young, doesn't have the experience of the feedback that usually helps other people who've already gone through that process. It's a whole thing, and so you gotta just help them on their journey as best you can. Try not to be something that hinders them. So, good. There is hope. And things can be good. It's a knee-jerk reaction to think that things could just turn out bad, because of course they could, but it doesn't mean that they're going to. It's important to remember that it can turn out good, but even more important is that a person isn't stuck in the rut forever. At least not every case. Can It always has the potential of change, which is good, because it has. Is my microphone working? I don't know. Does it matter? Probably not. I know that, and you know that, but we don't know that. I'm gonna check if the audio is working real quick. For some reason, I was like,
Is this your pet rabbit?
what is happening? It's working. It's just bad. Cool. Whatever. 5. That was an obvious 3. 9. 1. 2, 5, 2, 5. 7, 3, 1, 2, 8. That's the only one. 5. 8. If 2, 5, not 2, 5 elsewhere. What? What did I say? No, I said 8. It's a 9. Whoops. Whatever. That's the only 6. And 8, 3, 9. 9 must be in that box. 9 can be elsewhere, so whatever. I don't know, but uh, 6, 1, 4, 7, 8. 1, 3. Alternate 3. 4, 2 equals 7. Also not 4, 2. Also not 4, 2. Nice. don't understand why people would consider others to be that. Oh, that has to be a 9. What the hell? 9? 9. That was easy. What? Crazy. Some people consider others to be like they are adults. But of course, that doesn't work all the time. If you consider some people to be, if you know how they're limited, then you got to help them. It's not a matter of choice. They need the help. They need the assistance. You can't just leave them to their devices. You can't just leave them to their choices. If 7 must be here, 7 can't be here. For example. 7, 4, 3 is already up there, so this is not 4 as well. And that means these are not 8, 6. Cool. Bunch of just bundled numbers. Crazy. Then the 4, 6, 4, 6, 4, 1, 4, 3, 1, 3 is interesting, but that doesn't help. But that's a 1, so that's a lot. Now we have so many things that are fused together. It has to just crumble at some point, but where is that pin you gotta pull out? It's usually just that's left over. Well, 8, 3, 4, 3, 2, 4, 2, 4, 8, 2. 8, 6, 8, 6, 8, 6, 8, 3, 8, 3 alternate. Interesting. Where is that magic that I had the other day? Where I pulled some numbers out of my head, and they just happened to be correct. Good question. If 8, 3, 4, 2, 6, right? And if 8 and 3, 4, 2, well, wait. You cannot 4, 2 because that would make this negative. So therefore it has to be 8 up here, and 8 has to be in one of these and one of these. And it has to be here, meaning obviously you gotta remove the 8s from the option here. That makes sense. Okay. Leaves us with a 3, then a 6, and an 8. So, it's like there's that thread we have to pull on. And it all comes crumbling down. I think we're gonna cascade all the way to the end now. Recently I've been playing Hightail. I played it for 15 hours the other day. It is not Minecraft. Oh, that's a freaking 7. Um, but anyhow, thank God for no mistakes. Counted. That's just boring. It's like, I know what should be there. So anyway, I pushed the button. That's nice. Next. Okay, so we start off with um 75753, 756, 76. That means it cannot be 76 5 throughout the entire rest of the puzzle. So this one's not 6-5, this one's not 7-6. Cool. Lot of reduction. Which makes it still not defined. That's fine. There's a lot of things going on here. Hmm. 2. That was easy. So the thing is, okay. Um, I'm lost. Other things include this being an extremely dense block is insane. Like, really, you can be everything. Turns out, yes. Yes, it can. Well, obviously can't, but you know what I mean. Okay. I went to the end of the earth and I found a volcano which had firewood. That was fun. Oh, well, that's an easy Sudoku 8. I should have found that earlier. Okay, let's just glance anything else about Sudoku that we can find. Like, I don't know, the 4s equals these 4s, which doesn't help. But this is a 4, so that's easy. And then that limits this to these ones, and 5 on the other side. But the other 2 have to be on, one of them has to be on this one, and the other ones have to be these 2, which is something. Blah, 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 blah. Try to think of that one. No. Dang. Wait, if 9 has to be up top, then of course these are not 9. Nice. They have to be. There's nowhere else in that box they fit. For some fucking reason. Oh yeah, this straight. So that's good. Got that going for us. So we know this 9 has to be down here. Then there's 3 and 1. Meaning 1. Ironically, 1, 3, 9. There's these 2 7s are fine. There's too much information about 7. Like, I was just appalled about things. Oh, this must be 5. This cannot be 5. Because it doesn't have, um, there's nowhere else 5 can go. It has to be in the bottom there. Because it can't be in the far side, and there's no other bottoms. So there you go. There's a couple, that's 1 5. The least amount of noise I could ever remove. 1 digit. But that's something. If 2 can only be in here, then it cannot be in any of these. That's a lot of digits. Nice. We're getting somewhere. Similarly, we have 5 in this side. Seems to only be, which means it cannot be here. More reduction of noise. Love it. Well, that's for that block. It's specifically for that block because there's no other 5s in that column. So the 5s that are here must be the only 5s that could be for that block. And such other maths, logic of sequence, design, blah blah blah. But yeah. If 3 can only be in the bottom, then it cannot be on the top. Similar things, which leads this to a 3, which is an actual found number for the first time in years. Let's go. Doesn't help us a lot, but it at least is something. And now what? Well, hmm, good question. Again, 5 on the column looks all shared. Not helpful. 1, 2, many 2 options. But they can't all be right, so if one of them's wrong, then it must be here or here. And if it's here or here, it cannot be here. But we don't know that yet. However, we got the 2's here. And then we got 5, 6, 7. Nothing stands out of that column. It's all there. And everything's everywhere. Hold on. If one of all these numbers, 9 is the one that has to be on this. No, 6 has to be. No. None of the numbers are unique. That's interesting. 9 and 9 alternate. But which one? Yes, but which eye? Um, Nothing pops out. The thing about ironically, the puzzles that was a spiral, should be my most viewed video for Sudoku in the history of ever, because it was awesome. However, solving that was just like there's a sequence that worked with that. It's specific and it's like there's no way to get a unique there's no way to not have a unique answer to that. It's like the concept is neat. The whole thing was cool, but it's like it still leaves a lot open. Okay, let me think. 5 has to be in the bottom of that block. And then um other such things don't stop it from being in any specific position. What can I even glean from this? It's so broken. God dang it. Let's just work on something. But I can't find do I have a binary? Technically, no. What I have is trinaries. There are at least 2. There's the 6, 7, 5 trinary and the 9, 1, 3 trinary. So I could pick one of those. Let's start with 913. Call this a 1, and that the 9, and that the 3. This is a guess. So of that, we get no specific answers yet. But we've gone this far. We might as well pop the rest. So let's say 5 because that leaves 7, 6. But if I said 7, that would leave less. I don't like that as much. There's something interesting about it not being interfering that makes it seem right. Because that's like this long-standing coincidence that has happened. If it... I don't know how to make sense out of that. But then what? 9 is the only thing there, 5 is the only thing there, leading a 1 and a 2 must be elsewhere, and if 9 has to be somewhere else and a 1, 2, is that the 6 or is this the 6? Oh, this is crazy. So what if I say that's a 7? Then that makes this a 6, this a 5, that an 8, this a 7. And I have to wonder if that can be right. Obviously, that's a 5, which forces a blank. So that's wrong. So it's not 5 there. It's not 7, it is 5, according to this. But then we don't know about the last binary, which is the 7. If we say 6, and that's 7, then we still get another set of binaries that lead nowhere. But then there's this 5 that pops out of nowhere. And other things are collapsing. Let's see how that goes for us. Then we have the 2 down here, 7. And this is a 5. That's a 9. 1, 6. What's next in the sequence? I don't know. Four and 5 up top. That's interesting. 8, 1, 3 and 1. The 3 and 1 alternating. Interesting. Weird. So I guess I just have to pop another binary, which is not, this is just, it feels, pick a math is always not the right choice for puzzles. Also, I'm not finding anything with that. If I were to say, was it 1 and 6, I find a 2. And does that make anything right? Or wrong? Well, we have the 4 and 6, 3, 2, and have the 8, 5, 7, 4, 8, 2, 9, 7, 4, 1, sorry, 1, 5, 4, 1, 9, 4 blank. Oh God. Okay, so that's not right. Wait, why did I say 7? That has to be a 4. Oh wait, that's still wrong though. It's already broken. Oh God, when did that happen? Which binary popped it? Was it the 1/6? And it was so we need 6/1? Okay. And then that also means that if this was a 1, then that would have been 2, so therefore this is not a 1, must be a 1? Huh, that's still not determined, but it would seem to be. This is... I could still be up the blind alley of a wrong binary. So if I say 7, gives me a 4 and 2. That's another 2. 5, 2, 2, 4, 2, 3, 4. And that's false. Okay. So then that's a 2 and that's a 7 if that's even correct. Um, how do I progress from here? Um, Nothing strikes my eye yet. Weird. 4, 2, what? 3, I mean, 2, 2. That's different. 7, but that's 4, and then that's false. Okay, so then 3, 4, so it has to be 2, 4? I mean, again, if we are on the right path, we might be in a freaking labyrinth for all I know. Um, the problem is things look normal. Like that's a 1, for example. And then that leaves this to be a 1. Reducing slight noise. And then there's a 6. 5, 2. And then wow. It's genuinely like okay, 5858 4 878787 false. Oh no, that's bad. We're so we're we're even further back than 7-2 and 6-1. Oh no, I didn't even see that. Well, I couldn't have. How could I? Wait, and if the 1 gave a 2 and that was wrong, and the 6 gave it 2, then we're even further back. Where are we? Oh, that binary. Right. We popped that. So we have to... Oh God. I don't even know how to begin. Ow, my back. Yeah, I don't know what path to even start to try. And I forget if I tried 5 and then 6, 5. Hey, okay, that was a 5. But that's all I knew about it. And that's all I could get? Weird. Okay, yeah, this is the right labyrinth. Um, what if this is 7? Well, it can't be 7. Okay, what if it's 6? Can't be 6 either. So it has to be 8. Okay, so it has to be 8. Well, according to the logic of that's 5, which is equally questionable at this point. Like, I just don't even... I would release the ones, then... What do we have? 2. No, that's a 2. 7. Okay. Then we have this thing popping again, which is weird and ironic. But I guess it makes sense, it would. The 5. 7272196. Weird. 193, 196. Very, like, deliberate. So I'm all the way over here, and then the next thing I can choose is if I choose the 4 and such. 4 equals 3, 2. And then after 3, 2, we get this 2, which makes it 1, 6, 1, 6, 3. Force is free, which still remaining seems correct, but we're not done. There's a 5, 7, 8, 2, 4, 5, and 9, 7, 1, 9, 5. Which is weird that 5 was the end of the last trigger as well. 1, 8. Are we collapsing? I hope so. Nope. We just lost a block. Okay, wait. What is... Oh god, where did I start? That? No. I started before then. Did I say 2? Oh, no. This. And oh, that's where I started. Wait, did I say 4 which caused 3, 2? So if it's not 4, if it's 2 and 1, 3. Oh god, I don't remember which hallways I've been in. Leave it to the multiverse. Well, this looks... Who am I kidding? All of them have looked um, elegant and been a false pathway. But can't all be false paths. It's literally brute forcing at this point. If I say 3, 4, 7, 2, 7, 5, 4 is false. So 4, 3. Why do I have a feeling this is also going to be false? Well, that didn't trigger anything. Huh? Oh. Well, that's weird. Okay, so I have to... 47479. 454532 27. Well, they can't all be 27459 875. Hold on, that's a 6. And then what we end up with 4, because not 7, 5, 777 2. So we're in another false. Oh my god. Wait, 4 free and 3 4 are false. What? Okay, I'm just gonna. I'm not even staying here. I don't even know what anything is anymore, and I don't care. We're starting again. Half hour in. Great. Do we have anything to start with? The answer is 2. Um, After that, oh no. But that was great. That was a crazy run. Alright, so there has to be like but it has to do with how these puzzles are generated, what information gets given, how they're like it doesn't lend itself to a lot of options. Oh God, and I had conclusions that I don't know anything about anymore. Interesting. Like, why did I resolve to the 5 solution that I did? And I'm like, I don't remember. If 5 must be top bottom? No? What? What happened? Nothing. Well, okay. So here's what I get. Here's where I started. I started with 7, 5, 5, 6, 7, and 7, 6. Assuming all of those were in some position, so like this, 7, and 5, it would force the removal of those numbers from other situations, and I just picked a random one. I don't know why I'm going down this hole, it's wrong. But that also means we know that it's wrong. Meaning we could pick 7 here. 5. Starting with a binary is just crazy. What do you mean? Like, we still end up with that. But for reasons that I don't understand. Different reasons, different result leading to that anyway. Interesting. Just without all of the other thoughts. Oh, we still end up with 9, 1, 6. What? 5, 8. Oh, this is weird. Does that mean... Oh, oh God, that's so weird. Um, wait. What if that's the one? Go down that path for just a minute. Binaries are such weird... Like, pick a paths are such weird things to do. Ah, I don't know what's up with my back. It's so crackly. Oh, it so hates things. Just in general. Lots of things. Okay, so this is a 6. Cool. And then why does it look like it always looked like I was on the right path, and then I just wasn't. 2 has to be somewhere on the bottom of the middle. Oh wait, that's just a 2. It just is a 2. Okay. Oh. Well, again, as long as everything fits, and then 193, 641. Dang it. If I say 4, 3, 4, what do I get? What? No. No. 4, 7, 2, 5, 4, 9, 7. Remember, this is again a proposal of what if this is a 1 and this is false. Okay. Don't need to go down that path anymore. So if it's not a 1, God, that was a crazy thing to do. Like, why would I even? Okay. Did I start with a binary? I feel like I started with a binary. What? I'm erasing everything again with the 2. What is happening? My brain doesn't like this. There's too much. Like, is there any solution where we end up with this being maybe a 2? Because 6, 9, 6, 9, 3, 6, 9. It means it's a weird choice. Like if this was a 2, I mean, then it would be 2, 9, 6 instead of 1. There'd be a 1 here, forcing 2. 7, 6, 7, 6, 7, 6, 4, 3, 5, 1, 7, 6, 7, 9, 2, 8. Have I found a good thread to pull on? And the answer is no. That's false. So the 2 option doesn't work. So what if I can't freaking do this. This labyrinth is full of dead ends, just so many. I can't find anything. Like, 8 could be anywhere. Except for in this block, it has to be this is an 8. Like, everything else was blocked. So that's kind of something that should be obvious. And a 5 has to be somewhere, and a 2, 9, 6 has to be somewhere. 5 being down here, and it must. Then 5 is not here. That's what I found earlier. It's not here either. Okay. Then what else did I pull out of nowhere? 7 must be down here. But that's obvious. Five must be above, it's here, so it's anywhere. These are 8s. So 1 there, 3 over there, 5 over here, and 5s everywhere. If n number of 5s, 9, 9 can't both be, and nothing's saying it can't, and 2 can't both, nothing's saying it can't. 4 can't both, nothing says it can't. What can't? Oh, I couldn't use Google. The button for power is apparently the Google button, because they want all the power. That's a silly statement. That's a 4. Okay. And then, sheesh. I'm not usually like, no, actually, I'm not gonna call it on myself. I'll call it on the game. The game is being weird with me. Oh, because certain things obviously should stand out, but there's just, even with this, there's nothing. So pop a binary. The only binary I have now is the 5, 7, 6. So let's pop that. 7, 5, 6. And the 5, 6, and 8, 6, 2, 7. Do we have anything with that? We still have that result, which feels weird. And then we have all of this. Looks familiar. 916 and 913. And there's this quad to be solved, and there's this 2 to be solved. If 2, 7. Can I find anything? Well, forget about that. There's a 6 here. Start there. And then there's a 1, which is forced. The 2, 5, 3. I don't remember if this is probably a dead end. Or not? What? Oh god. This one's driving me just a little insane. Oh, that's not a 7, that's an 8. Okay. Well, because 7, 9, so that therefore it can't be 7 in the box. So then it makes this 9, that's 7. 9 according to stuff. And then we have four, 5. Okay. Which... Well, this feels like a different timeline, so that's promising. Um, you can never be sure about these things. So when I was playing RL Craft, I was working with. I'm gonna choose. Wait, what the fuck am I doing? Stop that. It's just random choices. What are you doing? Okay. When I was working with RL Craft Hardcore or something, I had backups, of course, and that leads to certain um, rules that have to be done. But even, or no, I don't remember. Yeah, there was. I definitely used backups even in survival because a certain amount of depth that oh, we're on the right track. It feels like, and I don't even know how I got here. That's the thing. I was lost and I got here after so many other choices. Oh, that sucks. How long does that actually take me to solve once I got in? Well, I mean, with the other information, I guess. But if I consider where I started, it was like, what, 39? So that's 11 minutes to really do it from start to finish, which of course I don't want to blanket. I wanted to have all the information, because the 50 is including all of the, like, other stuff. But, like, this time around I did. But anyhow, I was doing RL Craft, and the thing about that is that when doing RL Craft, you do a backup and if you lose stuff from explosions or whatever else, you can go back in time. So I'm a Time Lord. And then even in survival, I became a Time Lord, which is not my usual way to exist. But then, obviously, like, I was in super flat, and I remember there was times when I would just have God knows what happening, and it was nutty, and events would happen, and it was crazy. Super flat RL craft is insane, and to even try to attempt it is a completely different challenge than regular, um, because you don't have the luxury of being like you're out in the open. Everything that could spawn is spawning, and it's always like there all the stuff that would spawn at lower altitudes now spawn just in the open everywhere. And it's not so easy to handle it. So it's like you got these vortex guys who are freaky and they suck you in and then they kill you and whatever. So like even with survival, having backups, finding animals and bringing them back, that was hard. Eventually I got to the point where I did end up having a rock, which gives me the power of flight, and that gave me so much mobility. I didn't have to worry as much about it and whatever else. It was great. And I don't know why I would ever do that. I'm doing a live stream. Whatever. It doesn't know that. I'm done.